Guys, let's be serious here for a minute. As I start this show here, I really think that, I like to think that our society is normal, right? We're going to get better. But when I see articles like this, guys, I scratch my head. I literally scratch my head wondering just what the fuck is going on through his or her head. To think of rational thinking. I know it's a process to think stuff through. But sometimes you gotta wonder, guys, like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Guys, you're gonna want to hear this right on this show. We got a heated topic here. This story coming out of the Washington Post, guys. You're gonna want to hear this. Yeah, don't touch the dial. Definitely want to hear this, guys.
Rated mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. Broadcasting from the Big Peach of Atlanta, Georgia. A show unfiltered, unscripted, raw. The Patriot Angle Podcast.
All right, guys, welcome to today's show. Welcome. Happy Monday for everybody. Today is April 11th, 2022. Almost halfway through the month of April already. I know it's going like, it's getting crazy. But this new story here that literally came out on the Washington Post, also the Western Journal had basically reported on it. This just basically on the Western Journal's main website, if you check it out, literally trending. That literally, and I read this and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Well, does everybody know Pete Buttigieg, right? Everybody knows him. He's now saying, now brace yourself for this one, guys, because this is a scratch your head like, what the fuck was he thinking about when he said it, right? Literally. Pete Buttigieg literally said this, and a good friend of mine basically shared this article with me, and he's like, Mike, if you're looking for a good talking point, share this on your podcast. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely a very strange talking point to say on any podcast, not just mine, but anybody's, right? Pete Buttigieg is now coming out and saying that kids will be killed if teachers aren't allowed to teach about sex and gender. What? This guy is a fucking politician, and he's coming out literally saying that kids are going to literally die if teachers aren't allowed to teach about sex. Like, how are they going to be killed? He said this. He actually appeared on ABC's The View, right? And co-host Anna, right? Is it Annie or Anna? I got to look at, Anna, excuse me. Co-host Ana Navarro wasted no time addressing the Florida law that has enraged leftists. Why have they enraged the leftists? Like, what's wrong? Like, what their heads are spinning like crazy? They always are, right? But Pete Buttigieg is saying this crazy, erratic type of shit. Now, here's what the leftists are basically claiming, right? The leftists have made plenty of outlandish allegations about the state of Florida's new parental rights and education law. Now, the White House Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg's suggestion last Friday may have been one of the craziest types of crap that ever came out of the politicians and transportation secretary's mouth. I mean, this is, you want to talk about erratic behavior. Yeah, guys, this is pretty much on the top of the mountain, so to speak, when it comes to that. Now, Pete Buttigieg appeared on ABC's The View, and the co-host Ana Navarro literally wasted no time at all, addressing the Florida law, which Democrats have incorrectly, is Eric, is that even a word? Producer Eric looking at me like, what the fuck? Yeah, he's even shaking his head. Yeah. Called the Don't Say Gay bill. That's what they're calling it. The whole radical left extreme nut jobs of the Democratic Party are now saying that the Don't Say Gay bill, that's what they're calling it. Because they have to have their little couple minutes of talking, right? And this is what the quotes were expressed on the show. Your husband, Chastain Buttigieg, is a teacher. Right, guys? We're referring to Pete Buttigieg. He is, he's homosexual. And he's married and he has a husband. And he's been a vocal critic of what's going on in my state of Florida with the so-called Don't Say Gay law, which he says will kill kids, Navarro said. Do you agree? This was said on the show, folks. Now, the RNC, the Republican National Committee research Twitter page, put this out on a tweet. When was this tweet? This was actually on April 8th. So what, 3 days ago? Saying that Pete Buttigieg says that the prohibiting classroom instruction of sex and gender theory in kindergarten classes will kill kids. Then he blames Governor Ron DeSantis for inflation and gas prices. That's what the RNC Research posted on their Twitter just a couple days ago at RNC Research, right? And they actually had a sound clip here on the Twitter here, which we'll try to plug in. Producer Eric, if you can plug this into the show, if you have it, okay. If you don't, that's still okay. We'll try to, come up with a sound clip probably towards the end of the show. I mean, this is nuts, guys.
Your husband, Chastain, is a teacher, and he's been a vocal critic of what's going on in my state of Florida with the so-called Don't Say Gay law now, which he says will kill kids. Do you agree? And, as a politician, because this strikes you as, your husband is a teacher.
Yeah.
You are obviously LGBTQ yourself, and you are now a parent.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about
Yeah,
this?
he's right. And I think every law ought to be judged for the effect it's going to have on real people in real life. And I get the political reasons why they're doing this. By the way, some of those political reasons, they don't have a plan on anything else, right? I mean, they don't have a plan on dealing with inflation or dealing with gas prices or dealing with the issues of
We can't get home insurance in Florida. We're banning all sorts of conversations.
It's easier, right? It's easier politically, but this is going to hurt people. I mean, I think...
Yeah. Hello? We can't get home insurance in Florida. Whose fault is that? Isn't that Pete Buttigieg's boss there? The big guy, Joe Biden. The big guy. Yeah, that's the big guy. Yeah, the big guy. But they're so quickly to blame Ron DeSantis They're so quickly to put the blame on Republicans. It's all Republicans' fault. Actually, it's whose fault really is it, guys? It's the big guy, Joe Biden. It's his fault. He's in office. Donnie's not in office anymore, guys. Yeah, newsflash. Donald Trump is no longer the president of the United States. So the real blame for all of this, inflation, high gas prices, high grocery prices, a weak military, open borders. What are we at? Number 5, Eric, right? Should we start with number 6 and 7? I mean, you get the drift, right? They want to put the blame on Republicans. It's all Republicans. And now extreme measures are being infiltrated into this whole ordeal, guys. That ever since that Ron DeSantis, great Republican and governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, literally signed the anti-grooming law, right? Which a lot of Democrats are starting to call it the Don't Say Gay bill, right? He signed this into law, folks, to protect parents because erratic behavior is being infiltrated in some of the schools where they're allowed to teach this crap. They're allowed to teach this nonsense of shit to kids. This is the next generation of youth. This is probably the most genius, right, if the words are there, type of generation that's coming forth in the last 30, 40 years. I mean, these kids today are so full of knowledge. They're so far advanced than my generation. I mean, they have modern technology. They have technology at the length of their fingertips, right? And trust me, guys, when I say this is going to be the most educated, well-advanced generation in the last 40 years, I'm not lying, okay? But it's also a generation of idiots because you have simple-minded idiots teaching these kids about extremism at extreme points, right? Literally. I mean, I'm trying to come up with the words here, the right words, the appropriate words. I know this is an unfiltered show, but, uncensored as well, too. But, this shit, folks, this has to stop. Since when are we allowed to teach about transgenderness? Since when are we allowed to teach about, gay slurs to children of age of 5 years old in kindergarten? And now Pete Buttigieg is saying that, prohibiting classroom instruction of sex and gender theory in kindergarten classes will kill kids? How the fuck is this going to kill a child? What is wrong with this person? Has he gone mad? Is he like the Mad Hatter in Alice in Wonderland? Did he fall down the freaking rabbit hole? Hello, knock on the knocking glass, right? Is he looking through the looking glass, right? God, this stuff literally boils my blood hearing this crap. This is what's going on in America today, guys. Literally. But no, I'm a conspiracy theorist, right? Yeah. Misinformation. Oh, no, we're going to block people like Michael here on the Patriot Angle podcast. We're going to block great podcast hosts such as Savage and Bongino and Rogan because they're sharing COVID misinformation. They're sharing misinformation to all these different types of topics. How about you go after the nut jobs, the lunatics in the Democratic Party, the lunatic talk show hosts like The View? Why don't you start censoring their shit? Because some of the stuff that comes out of their mouth is extremism to high levels. Folks, I told you, I put the disclaimer in the beginning of this podcast. This is going to be a heated show. One of my heated shows here that I'm saying, because this shit, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable, folks. Now, after Navarro, right, on The View, went on for a bit about how this law can be offensive to Pete Buttigieg, oh, it's offensive because Pete Buttigieg happens to be gay. He responded to her question. Yeah, he's right. And I think every law ought to be judged for the effect it's going to have on real people in real life, Buttigieg said. Oh, yeah, no, to each his own. You know, like my grandparents back in the day, my mother even said at one point of her life before she passed, God rest her soul, you know, she even said, hey, you know, whatever floats your boat. You know, you feel like being with a man, you know, you feel like being with a woman, it's whatever floats your boat. Did my mother agree with it? No. Did my grandparents agree with it? No. Because they believed in terms that were taught to them when they were a little girl and a little boy to, you know, a man is supposed to be with a woman and a woman is supposed to be with a man. Now, if God invented us to be with men, then we would be natural homosexuals, right? If a woman was supposed to be with a woman, they would be natural lesbians, right? I think you get my drift, right? But no, we weren't invented like that. There's a woman for a reason. There's a man for a reason. It's called reproduction. That's how life moves forward. Now they want to, like, you know, this whole, what are we calling it? Woke culture? We're calling it cancel culture? Like, I don't understand what they're calling. Like, what are they going to call it? You know, the advanced culture or something? They're going to come up with some kind of name, you know, in this whole stupid ordeal. Like, you know, now they want to invent a third gender. Oh, yeah. There's no longer man and female anymore. There's a third gender. It's called transgenderness. Oh, okay. That happens automatically, right? You know, you come out of the woman's womb, you know, you're a transgender. No, you either have a penis or a vagina, right? I mean, come on. You know, you don't have, you know, it doesn't work that way, folks. You know, you're going to kill children? No. You know what's going to harm children today? Pete Buttigieg, the crap that you and the radical left is trying to teach in the schools. That's what's going to harm the child's education of learning. That's what's harming the kids today because they're so damn confused. The age of 5 through at least 12, right? At least 12, right? Right, Eric? Right? I mean, Eric's in the other side of the studio here agreeing with me on this, right? At least 5 to 12, right, Eric? That is the most critical way of thinking. 5 to 12 years old. They learn from those, 8, 9 years of learning, that is the most critical time of teaching because they're learning everything from the ABCs all the way up to algebra, pre-algebra to that method, right? That is the most critical time of learning. Teaching a child about gay and transgender at the age of 5, if you ask me, that's kind of disgusting. Literally disgusting. More on this topic right after these words, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Michael Gardner, unfiltered, uncensored, raw.
Hey guys, this show is now on Amazon Music and Audible. That's right. Gonna want to check us out on Amazon Audible and Amazon Music. Great set of platforms. We are so honored and grateful to be part of the Amazon team. And we're honored that they are allowing us to be launched on those two major platforms. So thank you to our new friends here on Amazon Music and Audible for choosing the Patriot Angle podcasts. Thank you very much. A true honor to be part of the Amazon team, guys.
This is the moment.
The Bachelorette is back.
Yeah!
And the power
I'm gonna fall in love.
Is in Jen's hands.
And I'm gonna do it my way.
ABC Monday.
Everything about her is great.
I feel so special.
Jen's looking like a queen.
My men are very, very hot.
Someone call 911. You are looking so fire.
This is the beginning of a new era.
The Bachelorette. All new Monday, 8/7 Central on ABC. And stream on Hulu.
Alrighty, guys, back to the show. Yeah. All right, guys, we're talking about this story. Pete Buttigieg was on The View. Was a couple days ago, or was it today? Today, right, Eric? Yeah, today. See, I'm forgetting. You know, I'm all fired up here. I'm looking at this crap here, and I'm like, what the fuck, you know? But I mean, this is what's going on, folks. This is what's going on. You know, the transportation secretary, right? This happens to be, what a coincidence, right? The View, and they're so smart, right? They know exactly what Ron DeSantis, right? Everybody's attacking Ron DeSantis because he's actually a governor, like governing the people of Florida, you know, like what a governor's supposed to do, right? Like they work for the people, right? I mean, that's what a governor's supposed to do, right? Work for its people, protect its people, and make laws. That's what a governor's supposed to do. Now, The View here, they're so smart. They knew what Ron DeSantis did. And what'd they do? They invited a man that happened to be a homosexual, and he happens to be the White House Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg. Wow, what a coincidence, huh? By inviting somebody like this, they know they'll get a good show out of it. And they'll get the liberal machine clapping their hands and pointing fingers, and it's all the Republicans' fault. It's all the Republicans' fault. It's the Republicans, Trump, Ron DeSantis, Michael Pence, this and that, blah, 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 blah. Guys, it's a clown show. That's how they sound. It's a big old clown show. Big old clown show. So in other words, on the show The View, and we're gonna plug some more, more videos in here, because I want you guys to understand like why I'm boiled up, right? Why my blood boils, why I'm heated up, right? You know, producer Eric in the other room, he's pissed off, because he feels the same. Everybody should be pissed off. Guys, if you agree with this, I'm sorry. You're the type of people that makes America, not great. Shit like this doesn't make America great. It's putting us backwards in life when we're supposed to be going forward. Now, in other words, on the show here, Buttigieg said that he agrees that this law in Florida will kill kids. He's actually saying this. This is ridiculous on many levels, he says. First, it is a blatant attempt. And I'm going to say this, all right? I want to stop there so you understand where I'm going at. First, it is a blatant attempt by Buttigieg to convince Americans that this law is an attack on children. In reality, the opposite is true. This law is designed specifically to protect children. Now, according to, and I dare to say this because sometimes I don't even tune them in, because sometimes they're just as the same as corrupted CNN and MSNBC and CBS and NBC. You get the point, right? Sometimes they're just as the same. Now, according to Fox News, the bill does not prohibit teachers from saying gay. It doesn't. It does not prohibit teachers. So if a teacher wants to use the word gay, homosexual, by all means, hey, they're free to say that. It's protected under the First Amendment, free speech, right? Yeah, we still have them. Yeah, what are those things? The amendments, right? The Constitution, Bill of Rights. Yeah, yeah. What the hell is that, Michael? Does that exist still? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it still exists. Still there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's what makes up America. Yeah, the amendments. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Right? Now, they can say that if they want. Do a lot of kindergarten teachers use the terms gay and all that? No, it doesn't even cross their minds. They wouldn't even, probably allow themselves to teach that curriculum inside the classroom. No, they wouldn't teach that because they use common morals as a teacher, as an educator. They do what's best for their children. A 5-year-old versus a 15-year-old. What are you going to teach, guys? You're going to teach the 5-year-old about ABCs, 1, 2, 3, hey, you and me, right? A 15-year-old, yeah, maybe you can leave that for the 15, 16, 17-year-old in high school, That's a different level. Yeah, it's like a 10-year gap, right? So, instead, right, it stops them from instructing children in kindergarten through 3rd grade about sexual orientation or gender identity of any kind. Now, folks, there is a strong argument to be made that children who are between 5 and 9 years of age, see, we just got done talking about this, right? I'll bring it up so you can understand, right? You can understand. I do have some liberals out there that tune in, and sometimes they're confused, so I have to, come into the Michael Gardner Patriot Angle podcast classroom. Sit down, boys and girls. I'll teach you a history lesson. I'm not offending you. I'm not trying to insult you. But sometimes grown-ass men and women need to be taught because they were never taught by their parents. They were on the PlayStation. That was the nanny, the babysitter, when the parents should have been teaching their kids this. But, it's okay, guys. Sit down in the classroom and I'll explain this to you. Now, there is a strong argument, right, to be made, and I'll say this again, that children who are between 5 and 9 years of age should not be learning about these subjects in any capacity. And I'll repeat that again. Should not be learning about these subjects in any capacity. One more time? I think you get the drift, right? Let's move on. But if parents maintain their children should learn about sex at a young age, that is the conversation that should take place directly between parents and their children. Only their parents, no other. That is the common morale between the parent and the educator/teacher. Do we understand now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the Patriot Angle podcast educational classroom, right? I mean, it's sad that we have to teach this, right, in society because people don't understand this. Now, folks, these are grown people, grown-ups, that are literally agreeing with liberalism of viewpoints. When you get a politician such as the Transportation Secretary of the White House, Pete Buttigieg, on ABC's The View, agreeing with these talk show hosts, saying, I think it's appalling that teachers should be allowed to talk about sex and sexual education from the age of 5 years old in kindergarten. What? Dude, we weren't even learning about sex when I was in kindergarten. I was learning about my ABCs and colors and patterns and stuff like that. Stuff you're supposed to learn. You don't learn about sex until like at least 8th or 9th grade, middle school. My God. Where has our society have gone? Oh my God. Eric, pick up the rock. Is the society still there? No? Yeah, I know it left. It should not be controversial to say teachers have no business instructing children. Instructing, right? My words are slipping, guys. Instructing children under the age of 10 about sex. There shouldn't even be a talking points. That should be left alone, folks. That should be like, push it away. At least like 8th or 9th grade. Not kindergarten. Not when these kids are like, coming into school for the first time in their lives. What the hell are you doing? Can you imagine as a parent, a simple-minded parent, right, that grew up in the times like me, like a simple-minded, parent, common sense parent, finding out that their children are learning about this material in school? Can you imagine, like, the thoughts that are racing through that parent's head? Like, what the hell? Where's my kid going to? Is this like one of those woke schools? Seriously. Can you imagine that? Second, the suggestion that children will become suicide. My God, can you hear this? This is like what Pete Buttigieg is probably like, when the nut jobs of The View are probably like, agreeing on. Like, it's so appalling that, teachers will not even talk about sex with their children and their, and their students in kindergarten. This is what they think. The suggestion that children will become suicidal if they do not learn about sex at 5 years old it's ridiculous. Like, you think that child's going to commit suicide if he doesn't learn about sex? But that's what Pete Buttigieg is claiming on the show. That they're going to kill the kids because the kid is going to get, like, so depressed. It's going to be like, I hate my life. 5 years old. My God. And then listen to this. It gets even worse, folks. That children are hardly even old enough to dress themselves at that age. Yeah. They don't even, sometimes a kid will put a red sock and then a blue sock. They, their color matching skills aren't there. You think they're old enough to learn about gender identities? Are you kidding me? Many children go through a transition period in which they learn more about who they are in the world at this age, and that period does not need to be tarnished by leftists forcing twisted ideas into their minds, because that's what they're doing, folks. These leftists are forcing twisted ideas into these little boys and little girls' mindsets. Guys, do you understand why I'm heated up on this show? Do you understand why I keep on doing this show? I'm doing this show to try to enlighten my listeners, try to enlighten the Patriot Unfiltered Nation here, right? I'm trying to enlighten my followers, my listeners on this show, of whom or whatever, wherever you're tuning into this show. I'm trying to educate you. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm not trying to, place any offensive ideas into your mindset. I'm not trying to do that. A simple person would understand what I'm doing on this show. I'm educating the person that is not educated, that does not know about this, that just believes the harsh wash of what I call it from these leftists. I said it, and the great Dr. Michael Savage had said this, and I will plug him into my show. If you're listening to Michael Savage, thank you very much. But, the great Dr. Michael Savage said on his show many, many times that liberalism is a mental disorder. Even wrote a book about it. It is. It's a big mental disorder. These people are suffering badly, and they need help. They need to be put in psychological evaluation treatment centers to evaluate their mindsets, because they've gone so far left that their brain is warped. Back in the day, we used to call this show the Twilight Zone, right? That's where these people are. They're in the freaking twilight zone, and like it's like, where you going, man? Come back. Wait. Like grab a fishing pole to like cast away and try to pull them back into society. It's terrible. It's terrible. Now, there's another tweet coming out of, who is this? Oh, Dr. Matt Walsh from the Women's Studies School of, I can't see the rest because, the tweet only goes so far. But I guess it's Dr. Matt Walsh from the Women's Studies School. I guess that's what it is. Wrote this on his Twitter account, @MattWashBlog, right? Saying that Pete Buttigieg's husband leads kids into a pledge of allegiance to the gay pride rainbow. What? They do this? Is there... Producer Eric, tell me there's a video to this? Oh, he plugged one in. Oh, by all means, go ahead, sir.
All right. I pledge my heart. To the rainbow. The not so typical gay camp. One camp. Full of pride. Indivisible. With affirmation and equal rights for all. Watch your heads.
Oh my God. Now, a lot of these kids that were in this video that Dr. Matt Walsh, kudos to you, hat tip to Matt Walsh for literally plugging this video on his Twitter account. Hat tip to you. Thank you, Producer Eric, for plugging in that sound clip too in the end with a plane going by. Yeah, definitely. Guys, this is... I like to still call it the United States of America, but I don't know what this country is anymore. Woke America? Woke states of America? Is that what we're going to start calling ourselves? The woke states of America? Right? Because there's no United States here anymore, folks. Our country has gone so far left, woke, this new word that's coming out on social media and all over the place, that they're doing this. They're pledging allegiance to the gay pride rainbow, and these children are like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Tell me that's not, that's wrong, right? Raise your, right? Producer Eric, raise your hands. Alicia, yeah, everybody in the studio, raise your hands. That's wrong, ain't it? According to Pete Buttigieg, it's appropriate behavior in his eyes. Folks, ridiculous behavior like this is likely to cause confusion and mental stress for children. And that is exactly why Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill preventing it in schools. That's why he signed a damn bill to protect these kids from liberal nut jobs that are trying to orchestrate this in schools all over the country. All over the country. Now, Buttigieg's argument against this law is completely backwards, if you ask me. Completely backwards. If anything is going to mentally harm children, it's his husband's woke nonsense, not a bill protecting them from it. Get my drift? Yeah, I hear you. More on this story, guys, right after we get back. Don't touch the dial.
Patriot Unfiltered Raw.
Hey guys, this episode today is brought to you by Blip Billboards. Spring break is coming up, guys. And do you know that more than 56% of Americans are planning to travel this spring season, with 30% traveling during spring break? That's an average of 8% of an increase from last spring break of 2021. Follow consumers, guys, outside with your next billboard advertising campaign. Get started. Sign up on blip.com. That's right, guys. Blip. Blip Billboards will help you out. Check them out today. You can Google them. They have phenomenal type of services and everything else. Blip offers packages and also plans. Check out Blip's 3 different subscription plans that will give your business greater visibility and reach. With their silver plan, $500 plus per month, or about $17 a day. They have their gold plan, which is $1,000 plus per month, or about $35 per day. And thirdly, and last but not least, they have their platinum plan that ranges from $2,500 plus per month, or about $85 per day. You can sign up for their monthly packages or their per day deals. Each of these plans include additional advertising credits, free billboard designs, and additional support from their billboard specialist. Check out these plans today, guys. You're going to love it. We use them here on the show, and I can tell you right now, guys, they are phenomenal. Check out Blip. Google search them, Blip Billboards. They'll come right up on your search browser. Sign up today. Create that next digital billboard to stand out with your customers, or if you're a podcaster such as myself, it'll give you more engagement with your listening base and your following. Check them out today. Blip Billboards.
This is my journey. I've found a way to do things differently with Ocrevus, an infusion treatment that's 2 times a year.
For adults with relapsing or primary progressive forms of multiple sclerosis, Ocrevus is proven effective in reducing relapses in RMS and slowing disability progression in RMS and PPMS.
Don't take Ocrevus if you've had a life-threatening allergic reaction to it or have hepatitis B. Tell your doctor about vaccinations or if you've had Hep B, as it could come back. A common side effect of Ocrevus is infusion reactions, and some may require hospitalization. It can increase your risk of infections, which can be serious and may decrease certain types of immunoglobulins. While PML was not reported in clinical trials, it could happen. An increased risk of cancer, including breast cancer, may exist.
Sorry, MS.
You don't get to control
Every part of me. MS can't own us.
Ask your doctor about 2 times a year Ocrevus.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. So nice to have you back again, Pete. We love having you here. You're looking good, healthy, and rested.
Rested?
Are you sleeping? Is that right?
I'm glad I could create that impression. Let's put it that way.
So yesterday, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was officially confirmed to the Supreme Court, and 3 Republicans crossed the aisle: Romney, Susan Collins, and Murkowski, right? Just 3 to support her. Did you expect more? You know, your own appointment made history. This is making history. Do the people who, I mean, and you know, a lot of these Republicans, except for Romney, they didn't come in suits and ties. They walked out during the confirmation, the most disrespectful, and kind of, to me, it looked more like a doubling down on their racist behavior, in my opinion. What do you make of it?
I mean, look, I wish it was 100-0 because it was an amazing, amazing moment for this country. But at the end of the day, you know, as old saying goes, what do you call a Supreme Court justice who got confirmed by 1 vote? Justice. And she got confirmed by, of course, more than a margin of 1 vote. And I felt so lucky. I was at the White House yesterday for a meeting. And
turn this garbage off. Turn it off. It's garbage. I don't understand why people actually support this garbage. It's garbage. Terrible. Terrible. My God. We're so glad that you're here. Oh, my God. And then what does Joy Behar go into the View there? She goes into her normalization, right? What more hate mongering, right? Hate, everything is so much hate on this show. I don't express hate. I express anger. It's a different, you know, I'm expressing anger because of what our country's going through, right? It's, you know, it's becoming the great melting pot. No, not the good restaurant, right? I love that restaurant, by the way. But no, it's becoming the great melting pot. It literally is. When you have garbage like this expressed through the most liberal network in America, ABC, right? It's on the top, folks, of the mountain. People, they support this garbage. I don't understand why. Like, why? I don't know. But then they go into Pete Buttigieg shares a message to the LGBTQ plus youth. Now he's sharing this to the youth, right? You're not alone, right? That's what he's sharing. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he wants everybody to live across the rainbow. Yeah, check this out.
I was telling you on break, the first thing I want to say is I am so sorry that you have become the butt of jokes by some really stupid people when it comes to your fraternity. I know you're joyful with your twins, Penelope and Joseph, and so congratulations, and don't let that take away your joy. And talking about attacks on LGBTQ plus, your husband Chasten is a teacher. And he's been a vocal critic of what's going on in my state of Florida with the so-called "Don't Say Gay" law now.
Yeah, you remember that, folks? We plugged that in earlier the show. I want to plug it in again because there are some comments coming into here. Just listen to this again. I normally don't do repeat plug-ins to the show, but this I think is the most extreme comment, viewpoints on anything, even ABC's The View, or any show for that matter, right, has ever orchestrated on live television. Check this out.
Which he says will kill kids. Do you agree? And, as a politician, because this strikes you as, your husband is a teacher.
Yeah.
You are obviously LGBTQ yourself, and you are now a parent.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about this?
Yeah, he's right. And I think every law ought to be judged for the effect it's going to have on real people in real life. And I get the political reasons why they're doing this. By the way, some of those political reasons is they don't have a plan on anything else, right? I mean, they don't have a plan on dealing with inflation or dealing with gas prices or dealing with the issues of
We can't get home insurance in Florida. But we're banning all sorts of conversations.
Right, it's easier, right? It's easier politically, but this is going to hurt people. I mean, I think about it. Chasten and I talk about this a lot. If our kids were in a classroom in a state where one of these laws passed, what if they come in on a Monday morning and, sitting around talking about, in first grade, how was your weekend? And they want to say, oh, I just had the best time over the weekend with my dads. We got ice cream. And the teacher has to say, oh, no, we can't talk about that here. Or is the teacher supposed to, a high school teacher supposed to go through every book and make sure that if there's ever a picture of married couples in those books, they tear out any page where it isn't a straight couple? Is that what we're asking teachers to do? But again, they're doing this because they don't have answers on the issues that people actually are asking about. So I'm focused on just trying to deliver. They can keep trying to go out there and ban books. We're going out there figuring out how to build bridges, literally, in every part of the country.
Can you just take a little time to give a message to LGBTQ students who, like you when you were in school, who might be feeling marginalized and attacked and targeted right now?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is you're not alone. Look, it is hard to be, especially like a middle schooler, even if you're not LGBTQ plus, right? It's hard.
Yeah.
And you throw that in, and you think about what these kids are up against, and there are enough people. There might be bullies in your school. You don't need bullies in the state house added to that, right? And so the biggest thing I want these kids to know is not only are you not alone, you got a lot of people who have your back, including people like me, and Chasten, including millions of people across America, and I would add, including the President of the United States.
You know what? We're lucky to have you in this country, is what I want to say to you. And
Oh, will you shut up? Stop people kissing people's asses just to have them on their show. Oh, it's going to spike the rate. You don't care. All you care about is ratings. Oh, telling you. Oh, boy. You know, it's a great way to move away from the question, huh? The law isn't about children saying they had fun with their same-sex parents. It's about the teachers in schools that don't push their sexual beliefs on little kids. Talk about sex to people who are adults, not children. Anytime I hear an adult talking about sex to a minor, I see someone who should be investigated to catch a predator. Sick pedophiles, if you ask me. A kid asks to a teacher, "How was your weekend?" That's what the teachers should say. Let's bring back the old generation of teaching, when the teacher would say to the student, "Hey, how was your weekend?" "Great, I got to do lots of fun stuff with mommy and daddy." Teachers don't even say that anymore. They're scared to death because they have the school boards infiltrating this stupid behavior, erratic behavior, if you ask me. Right? What do teachers say now? You'd be surprised. Let's just use one for an example. A teacher would respond to a question today with, "I spent a romantic weekend with a horse." Yeah, you telling me that's not sick? Responding to a 5 and a 6-year-old child, a student in your classroom, you're telling me you're telling me that's appropriate behavior? Something that you would probably leave for like a professor in college or something, when the guy's 20 something years old or 19 years old, not a 5, 6-year-old child. What's next? What do you want, kids learning about bestiality? Although I'm sure the sick, deranged nut jobs of the liberal machine will be pushing that next in the classroom. Hey, let's learn about bestiality, huh? Fucking nuts, I'm telling you. I read these comments, on the ABC's The View panel here on their YouTube channel, which is quite strange, where I could say something about COVID and it's absolutely true, and they'll freaking ban me right on YouTube, right? But you have this type of crap on YouTube where they're talking about this crap on YouTube, right? But they keep The View. They don't ban them. They don't shadow ban them. They don't even censor them. Oh, it's all fine. It's all fine because we all have to live under the rainbow. Yeah. Yeah. Telling you. We're speaking on the Florida bill, right? So I would like to say this. You're not allowed to discuss religion in schools, right? Most schools. So why discuss sexuality, right? You're not. Most schools, they don't allow the push on religion. They won't mention it. They won't even talk about it because it's part of the school board, right? The curriculum. They're not allowed to push religion on students. So if they're not allowed to push religion on students, why do they have the power to push this crap on students? And why are they even trying to teach it in schools? What's the message behind it? I mean, to be honest with you guys, it sounds like another a bumper sticker push, if you ask me. We gotta push more of it, We gotta get more money in for the pride communities all over America. You keep pushing that door wide open, and I'll point the finger at you and blame. Yeah. when an entire generation of kids is confused because you're not letting them be simple-minded children. You're brainwashing them. A child is supposed to express their inner child at 6 years old, 5 years old. They're supposed to go out with their friends in the playground and play and be a kid. Not learn about this sick derangement of liberalism. That's what it is, folks. It's simple-minded liberalism. That's what they want in America. They want to influence this liberalism in America. They want to kill our society. That's what they really want to do. Come on, wake up. Ding dong, hello. Yeah, that's what they want to do. Ron DeSantis and other governors, guys, pushed for this protection against kids. It's called the Parental Rights and Education Act. It's the correct thing to do. Let the parents decide what they want to do with their children, not the educators, not the teachers, not these government officials. It's not their decision. It's not their kids. It's not your kid. Did you adopt that kid? Are you their legal guardian? No, it's not your decision. Let the parents decide what they want to do with their children. Let them decide what's best for their children, not the other way around. Do you agree with me? Huh? Making sense a little bit? Yeah, let's move on. You know, I mean, you know, thank you. Does everybody hear the sound effects? I hope so. You know, producer Eric and everything is plugging in the little birdies in the background. You know, that's the little birdies going off. Yeah. That's when everybody wakes up and understands that, you know, yeah. Now, you know, I don't know. It cracks me up when people say, "Did you read the bill?" As if because they're stupid and don't understand the contents and pretense of the bill, and that we're stupid too. First thing, folks, one of the architects of the bill is on camera in the Florida State House admitting that his grandchild's generation is full of gay people who may be doing it because they're trying to be popular and fit in. Second thing, there is no grade or age limit after the first statement of K through 3. The bill states, or otherwise age appropriate. Who determines what is age appropriate? That means if you determine that the conversation isn't age appropriate, it's an illegal conversation, whether it's with a student that in K or 12th. Lastly, the bill specifically says sexual orientation or gender identity, while there are teachers in Florida who have circulated a letter saying that that they will enforce the law and pretend that all students are genderless and asexual because of verbatim. That's what the law states. Gay is alternative sexual orientation. Transgender, non-binary is a gender identity. Don't insult my intelligence just because you're stupid. Did you understand that, folks? Right in the freaking bill. Right in the bill. The fact that they invited someone to talk about a bill that he clearly hasn't even looked at and no one corrected him is beyond scary. It's stupid if you ask me. But, hey, he's gay, so he can't be wrong, right? That's society today. I'm gay, I can't be wrong. I'm a liberal, I can't be wrong. I'm a leftist, I can't be wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. Yeah. I remember the quotes, right, producer Eric? What was it, about 10 years ago, right? Yeah, 10 years ago. That George Carlin, right? We all remember George Carlin. Very, very famous for his political quotes of his comedy. Literally says that, hey, I'm right, you're wrong. Hey, we're all morons, right? Let's live and learn, huh? Yeah. I mean, I don't know, folks. I don't know. I think in my closing here, I'm going to say this, is that teachers need to be, the first responders for so much. They give their students a free speech to be like literally their true selves, right? But in reality, they need to be the first responders. They need to teach these kids right and wrong. I think that this new type of society that the radical left is trying to influence in our society is way out of line. I think it's extremism at high points, and I think it needs to be stopped. And if it doesn't get stopped, then God help us all, because this is terrible, literally. If I had a little child, in kindergarten, which I don't, my daughter's almost 18 years old, but even if I had small children today and they were learning through this type of teaching, I would immediately remove them from that school, and also make a phone call to the state boards, right? The school boards of that school. I would be on the phone with the principal, the superintendent, the teachers, everything. I wouldn't let it go. I wouldn't let it slide by and say, hey, it's the 21st century. Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I would be on the phone white on rice, hey, what's going on here, What? Right? Folks, it's time to end this crap once and for all, and that's my message. I hope you liked the podcast today. I hope you learned something. Every podcast episode has a meaning behind it. I hope you're learning from what I'm expressing on this show, because people like myself and others need to continue fighting the fight of what we're fighting through in this country. That's the only way we can erase all this shit. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Patriot Angle Podcast.
Michael Gardner, a host like no other. Unfiltered, unscripted, raw. You just heard an episode of the Patriot Angle Podcast. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon Music, and Audible. Also streaming live on Twitch. Remember to follow and like us, guys, for unfiltered, uncensored, raw content. Also, please head over to www.patriotanglepodcast.com for all your exclusive Patriot Angle Podcast content and material, as well as the merchandise website, www.patriotunfiltered.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.